Dwight, let me ask you a question. You know, in my travels, and me and Kenny, people always ask us about players. And we probably only met 5 or 6 times your entire career. And I says,
I remember the first time I met you.
Here.
It was here,
I said,
with your dad when you were in high school.
I says, he's a really nice guy. He's a hell of a player. But for some reason, people don't like him. Why do you think that about you? Because I tell people, I says, every time I met Dwight, he's a nice man. You're a hell of a player. Why do you think people don't like you? Because, like, first of all, I hate when I hear guys says, I don't watch television.
I don't really watch it, but,
You heard all the stuff the Lakers said about you.
Right.
You've heard
the Lakers?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think it was you.
What? About what? I said you were disengaged in Houston, but I told you why. I think that it's very frustrating to play with a guy, and James Harden is a hell of a scorer.
Right.
But to sit there and play with a guy who dribbles, either gonna come to the basket or step back and shoot a three, I'm not gonna be interested. And I said, you seem to me you're disinterested. But that's a twofold question.
Right.
Why do you think people have a negative perception of you, number one, but are you disinterested at times? Because I say, we talk about this all the time. One of the reasons people like playing for the Spurs and the Warriors, everybody touches the ball.
Right.
But when you play for the Rockets, not many guys touch the ball. So answer both of those questions for me, please.
Okay, the first question, I would say people see me and they've seen the success I've had in Orlando, and they see me now and they're probably like, man, what's the difference? And I think I was very likable in Orlando, and the way that situation ended, I think people felt as though, I'm just this bad guy. I'm all about myself. I'm a diva. I'm stuck on being Dwight Howard, this famous basketball player. So a lot of people say, you know what, we don't like this guy. And I hear that a lot. And it really hurts me because, my heart and my attitude towards the game has always been the same. And my drive has always been there. Because I never forget the day I came in here and you told me I wasn't going to be good in the NBA. And I never forget the day that Magic Johnson said I wasn't going to make it to the NBA when I was in the 10th grade. And that stuff drives me every day to want to be one of the greatest players to play the game. So that part, to hear people say that, it pisses me off because that's not who I am. I've never been a bad person, and it's not like I want people to like me because I know people are not going to always like me. But, if you get to know me, I'm laid back. I love to have fun. And the second part, disinterested, I'm always interested in winning, but as a big, sometimes you want to feel a part of what's going on. And if I could bring the ball up the court, shoot threes and go between the legs, do all that stuff, that'd be great. But I have to rely on my teammates at certain aspects to get the ball. Now, there's been times where I've been upset and I've taken myself out of games and situations, and that's on me. And I have to grow and be a better player at that. So I'm always interested in the game, and I've had the problem with smiling too much, or people saying I smile too much, or I play too much on the floor. So when I'm not smiling and doing all that stuff, it looks like I'm not interested in the game. So it's like a thin line where I'm like, man, do I not smile or do I smile and have fun? And so that's always been a struggle for me personally.
Well, it's almost here's an advice that I think that we both kind of say about other guys as well. Tonight he said Russell Westbrook has to be Russell Westbrook. You have to be you. And if that's smiling, that's you. And if it's not being smiling, that's you. Because then your talents, to me, will come out more and every day. So when Russell Westbrook turned that switch on and said, I'm going to shoot the basketball with 9 seconds to go, even though the play should be I should pull it out and get fouled and go to the free throw line, he still shot it. And my line is, you can't make a hyena a lion, and you can't make a lion a hyena. Whoever you are, that's who you are. And it's been good enough for a long time. So, the one thing that you're never going to please us up here. You're never going to do that,
Right.
ever. But because we talk about the mistakes of the game, we don't talk about the game.
Right.
So we talk about the mistakes of the game. But the one thing that I always thought that things that you could probably do while that's happening is rebound like he did. He used to just get it off the glass, So to be able to get it off the glass when those guys don't do it, no one could do that better than probably you and 2 or 3 other guys in the league. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. The thing I got to tell you, I'm gonna give you this little bit of advice. Never worry about what you hear on television, because the way this business works, when you were in Orlando and winning and smiling, we thought it was great. Mm-hmm. But if you're losing in Houston or LA and you're smiling, you're going to get killed. You have to be smart enough as a player to realize this is how this business works. Like, when I was in Philly, it was great. It was when in Houston, I didn't play well my last couple of years in Phoenix. That's just the way it is. If you do well, we're going to talk about you great. Mm-hmm. If you don't do well, we got to criticize you. But you don't ever take it personally, because you've been a hell of a player for a long time, and you're starting on the back 9 of your career. Mm-hmm. And I think that you're going to help a team. I would like to see you win a championship, because I don't go crazy, but it bothers me to a little bit that I didn't win the championship. Kenny and Shaq, I want to see guys, like I root for Chris Paul. I root for Kevin and Russell. I rooted for LeBron when he was in Cleveland. I want to see guys who are great players win the championship. Like right now, I don't pray because I'm not a religious person, but I want to see Chris Paul win the championship, because I think, to me, he's the best leader in the NBA. Seems like a hell of a guy. I don't know him that well. But like yourself, been a hell of a player for a long time. I want you to take time this summer to think about how you want to finish your career and try to win the championship. Because you got to make a big decision this summer.
Yeah, how about where you're going to finish your career?
You know what?
Starting with the opt-out.
I haven't even, that part hasn't even crossed my mind,
No, Dwight.
It hasn't.
People at home, people are going to listen. They're going to hear that. They're going to say, "Of course, it's crossed his mind."
That's cool. What people can say. This is my thinking right now. After the season, I hated the fact that we got put out. When we did, I was very upset to lose to Golden State the way we did, and it just irked me. It irked me that we didn't have a great season. You have 2 great players in, James Harden, myself on the same team, and we were not able to be great this year like we wanted to together. And that really pissed me off. So I went on vacation. I took a week away from the game. Went to Mexico. I heard you talking about Cancun.
Cancun.
I didn't go to Cancun.
So you did. So you did.
I didn't go to Cancun. I didn't go to Cancun. I went to a place close to Cancun. Okay. But I got away from the game, and I said, what can Dwight Howard do to come back and be a better player? And I've already started training. My focus right now is making sure I'm in the best shape and my body is better than ever, because I want to come into next season with the mentality of dominate from preseason all the way to the end of the season, wherever that may, wherever we end up as far as the playoffs. But that's my focus. I can't focus on free agency or any of that stuff that's going to happen later on, because I want to make sure my body is right. And, I want to change that perception of that, I don't really take this game serious, because this is my life. I've been doing this since I was 3 years old, and I want to win. That's why I play this game, and I don't want to finish my career and not be up on that podium. I watched Kobe win on my floor, winning the finals, the game on my floor, and it pissed me off, because I'm like, man, that could have been my time. And I saw him win. So each year I watch the playoffs and I see these guys winning the championship, and I'm like, man, I want to be on that stage. To the fact that sometimes I can't even watch the finals games because it hurt, because I'm not there, So my job is to get in the gym and work my butt off so I can be on that podium and not be sitting up here in
a mauve suit.
In a mauve suit. Talking about my bracelet that I got in the theme room.
But you know you're going to have to think about it soon enough.
Correct.
Where you're going to play, with whom you're going to play, and to the point that these guys were making, are you and James Harden compatible on the floor?
See, people have this misconception,
I don't know personality-wise,
that they think that we don't like each other.
No, not whether you like each other.
I want to say,
you play well together?
I think we can. I believe we can, but both of us have to put our egos and our pride to the side and say, hey, we need each other to win. That's the only way we're going to win. We need each other, and we need the other guys on our team to win.
Well,
he can't do it alone, and I can't do it alone.
Great first of all, players make the game easier for each other.
But also, let's get one thing straight.
Right.
You don't have to get along to be successful.
Correct.
There's been many teams.
But you got to have chemistry on the floor.
I understand that. So I'm not going to put you on the spot here right now, but I'm going to put you on the spot. So, no, and this is fair. I mean, you can say I haven't made a final decision. Mm-hmm. Are you going to opt out of your contract or not? That's a very fair question. You can say I haven't made a decision yet.
No, I haven't made any decision. You know, like I said, you know, the only decision I've made is to start training now. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be better than I am now. I want to come back and have a better season, you know, dominate like I'm supposed to dominate.
Have you talked to the Rockets?
Have I talked to Rockets since the season ended?
Yes.
I talked to Tad Brown, the guy you call Toad Brown, which is my guy. Shout out to Tad, man. I love Tad.
And I apologize to Daryl and Tad and Les, because I should never react to what people say on social media, because I don't do social media, and we show them all the time.
Right.
And hey, Tad Brown was correct. I probably played 2 years too long. I only played 2 years too long because they screwed me out my $3 million.
That's another story.
That's another story.
That's a whole nother story.
Another day, man.
But you know what? I got great. I don't know Daryl Morey or Tad Brown, but Les Alexander treated me great when I was in Houston. So shout out to Les. But you know, you guys, this is a big decision for you.
Huge.
Correct.
No, it's not big. Because it's huge.
Because this is probably going. Let's be realistic here.
This is going to be his biggest last deal.
This is going to be your last. But this is not.
That's if he opts out.
Well,
First
of all, I think he has to opt out. He has to opt out. Number one, he knows that.
He's over 10 years.
Yeah, Matt, he has to because two reasons. Number one, he can't. He's too great a player to play on a 1-year contract. If he was to hurt himself, that'd just be like, who was this guy's agent? Bernard Madoff?
And virtually everyone assumes you're opting out.
Well, he has to for financial reasons.
I mean, it's you got 1 year left.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So he has to opt out. Either that,
but the decision that you make will
change your life forever.
It will change your life and your perception of what people think of you forever.
Yes, because you're gonna get a lot of money anywhere you go, but you got to put yourself in a situation where you got to win. But listen, if your people around you, you're too great a player to play on a 1-year deal with all this money that's coming up. You've got to set yourself and your family up. I mean, that's just common sense. But the decision you make, it's got to be about because let's be realistic. You saw Tim Duncan tonight. He's the greatest power forward ever. Mm-hmm. The tank is empty. There's nothing left. You got a window where you can still be a hell of a player. And this is going to be your chance to win the championship. So that's the number one thing you should be thinking about.
Numero uno.
Numero uno.
All right, we're now officially done grilling Dwight.
Yes.
We
were good to you. Keep going. I can grill you all day. Hey, I'm great.
Take a deep breath.
We missed the commercial break for you tonight.
Hey, keep going. I love it.
We're in like the 4th segment of the show now. We haven't taken any commercials.
I like it. It's about time.
But we will come back.